Hi, welcome back to Nessa's Nook. This is going to be a little bit of trach care. I was thinking about that today when I was taking my shower. Um, Last night, sometimes when you have a trach, obviously, sometimes there's going to be issues of you get stuff in your inner cannula and it just becomes a heck of a mess. So I have, my insurance company still pays for this machine, and then what it does is it comes with this tube and you suck out whatever, and this is used this morning. But it actually goes down. My husband counted it. It actually goes down your throat about that far, believe it or not. Now there's like a little tip at the end that has airflow through it, so it's not like when you're shoving it down, you can't breathe. But anyways, when I first came home from the hospital, and of course, I was in the hospital for over like 2 months, and right before I was able to leave, they let me. I took 2 showers at the hospital, and that felt so good. Anyways, anybody who's not been able to take a shower due to surgery or whatever, broken foot or whatever have you, you get what I mean. Anyways, so I was having to do water baths when I got home and wash my hair in the sink, and your hair never feels as clean as it should because I was told I wasn't supposed to get the trach area here wet. Okay. Now, you'll see me on different videos. Let me take this off here. That is the decannulation cap. This is the next step to getting the trach physically out. I go to the doctor on Wednesday. I'm hoping to have thumbs up that my vocal cord surgery was in fact a success. When I went in and had all the breathing issues, and we won't even go into that whole extent, but I was vented. And when you are vented, a lot of times the way that I guess lays back in your throat, it lays against your vocal cords, and it can paralyze your vocal cords. I think that's what happened to my sister-in-law, honestly. I don't know because I don't talk to her, but whatever. Anyways, they do actually have this, and I have a purple one too. And you can breathe in through this, but you can't breathe out, and this is what's considered a speaking valve, okay? Which is really nice on days that, with my allergies and the season changes, when this is too really hard to, for breathing issues, I wear this, or I wear nothing at all, because sometimes even this is too hard to breathe through on days that I'm really, really cloggy, because I do suffer from allergies. But this morning, at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, and I'm just loud. I mean, my husband's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, and I start coughing and stuff like that. And I got some mucus up, but it sounded like, it's kind of weird. Let me put this on pause and I'll show you what it is here. All right. I don't know if you're sure if you can see this middle piece, this one right here. This is actually what's in my neck. Okay. So there's times that when you cough or whatever, things actually physically get caught in this part. And when they did take this out on my last doctor's visit in June, this was like really filthy, okay? And I didn't know that you can somewhat clean it. Now, cleaning it, what they suggest is you could get these from your doctor. You can get these off Amazon, but this is actually saline. The first time we tried to use this, my husband, and it actually feels like you're drowning, believe it or not. You wouldn't think that's not very much liquid, but it actually made me feel like I was drowning. So what we do is we put that down till I gurgle, and today we had to use about half of it altogether between different steps. Because like I said, there was stuff stuck. It wasn't necessarily in my inner cannula. It was actually, I don't know where it was, but I finally did actually cough up something, and I told my husband, I said, that's probably what was blocking my breathing. You wouldn't think like a little hard snot would cause you to have breathing issues, but believe it or not, it really, really does. Because, for starters, this is my shower one, but this is the inner cannula. This is what is this. Okay? This is what I sound like without the caps. So, this, I don't use this one anymore, but this one, you're supposed to like change out daily or whatever. Now, when I first got home, and I don't know for sure if people know this because I wasn't not told a lot of things. When I first got home, on here it says, this has tape so you can't see it, but it says, do not wash, do not reuse, do not clean. Well, these, believe it or not, are $10 a piece from the insurance company. I understand it's medical supplies, blah, 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 blah. I get that. But because I was wearing my oxygen when I first got home, because I was told I had to wear my oxygen all day, eventually I weaned myself off from wearing the oxygen all day. I would just wear it at night. However, when you cough, like all the cough fills up this tube, and I was constantly having to change these out. Well, I only got 30 a month because it's one change per day. And I'm like, I need more than one a day because these are filling up and I'm, you can't wash them supposedly. So, nonetheless, they told me you have to wash them. And there's like this little brush that comes with the little kit, and I washed them and I sterilized them and I did all that stuff. Now that I realize this, so what I do, and if you have a trach and you're able to do this fine, I'm not saying this is not medical. This was not medically saying, okay, I don't know, I've never asked my doctor. But if you are just wearing this, when you cough, push back and cough, and the inner cannula does not fill usually full of boogers. It's not whatever you want to call it. So that's a very, very smart thing. So anyways, back to the shower. This is what the video was supposed to be about. So anyways, when I first got home and I couldn't shower and I couldn't figure out anything, because you're not supposed to get this area wet. Believe me, when you do take a shower and you do get this area wet and some water does go down in there, you know immediately, and you go into a coughing fit and it's not pretty. So anyways, I was looking online, and I'm incredibly cheap, and I didn't know how long I was going to have this trach, and some of these stuff, because it's medical grade, I mean, this stuff is absolutely outrageous priced. So my daughter works at Menards, and the people over there are so nice. A lot of them know who I am, some of them don't know who I am. But I was watching this one video once, this is a couple months back on YouTube, and there was this medical supply thing, and what it looked like was kind of like this. Okay, now this is a half-inch elbow. Okay, and like I said, this is not okayed by a doctor. This is not okay. Don't go back on me. If you try this is all on you. So because it's too big for the actual part that sticks out, so my husband put some tape, so when I put this on, now it stays still, and when I would take a shower, and this is in me, I could still breathe through this hole at the bottom of the elbow, but water was not going in my trach. This is like less than $1, and some tape, obviously. So sorry about that. I just coughed and I just shot my cap across the room. So yes, I do have that hard of coughs that I physically will shoot this 10, 15, 20 feet, believe it or not. So anyways, so I would have this down my throat and water wouldn't get in. And what I would do is, because I would wash them, because that's what the nurses said to do, is I would wash this after every shower, let it air dry, and I would just keep it, in a bag for my next shower. Well, in a previous video, I'll put a link in here. But I was on Etsy. Well, I was looking all around for collars. Now, when I got sent home, they sent me home with a Dale band, and it's just very, very uncomfortable. Anybody who has a trach can tell you how very uncomfortable the Dale bands are. I do actually have about 10 or so of them. So if you do have a trach and you do want my Dale bands, and if you want to pay for shipping, I will send them to you for free. Anyways, I have them out in my shed and I just won't use them. But on Etsy, this woman here in Michigan, she makes these. And in the back, it has Velcro, and it kind of like goes through the little loop here, and it meets in the back. And the Dale band and the ones I got from Amazon, it had Velcro right here. And anybody who wears a trach can tell you we have to have this band on 24/7 every day, every minute you're awake. The only time I've ever had this band off is when I had surgery, and when they change out my whole cannula. Okay. Other than that, since February, I have had this band on 24/7, and it is absolutely annoying. But if you don't have it on, this falls out, and then that's a whole nother thing that I'm not willing to deal with. So this girl makes these. I think her daughter has a trach, and it's absolutely wonderful. But I usually wear the same one for a couple days, and even though I shower with it on, because like I said, your neck itches, so when I do shower, what I do is if I don't have my cap on, I will stick my finger over this hole and press this in as I'm putting, because I have the wand, and I will spray around here, I'll spray under here to get this all nice and clean, because I've noticed when I do that, when I get out of the shower and I'm cleaning this, getting this ready to put on the gauze, or the ones my cousin made me that's pre-made, that everything's all nice and clean, because I don't know why or how or whatever, because I'm not a doctor, but there's like boogers that will come out above and below, and it sometimes will, because this is on your neck, like I said, 24/7, it will get caught like here and down here, and it just rubs on your neck, and it makes your neck very raw. I have the most problem about right here behind this one. This is the most problem I've had since I've had it. It's always hurt there. So I did ask my nurse or my doctor. I said, well, if I'm getting this out somewhat soon, which I do believe I'm healed. I don't know for sure if I am. I'll find out on Wednesday. But the next step obviously was this cap. And underneath here, I have some scars. For one thing, I have scars of where probably this has hit my skin. And when you put your chin down, or you eat, or you sleep, or whatever, it's actually made little scars on each side that I have now. I will have a scar here too. I don't know how big of one. I'm going to have them allow my husband to take a picture, because I want to see what this looks like without the trach, because they'll probably change out my trach Wednesday. Hopefully they're going to teach my husband how to do it so he feels a little bit more comfortable. So if I do have this a little bit longer, if I do want it changed out, because I actually do have 3 of these at home. It's not something I would feel comfortable doing myself, definitely not. But if I need it to be changed out, like if I feel it's so dirty, and like this morning, that was just crazy. But anyways, so I've been putting vitamin E underneath here where that scar, because even though I've gained back about 5 or so pounds, I lost at least 50 pounds minimum between January and March. So this looks like, if you ever look at it, it looks like it's pulled over to my right. Because I don't think, maybe if they didn't put it in there straight, I don't know what the deal is. Or maybe it's because of my late weight loss, but there was this line that was about so, where my skin was, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's like you know, like how when you lose weight and your skin tightens back up or whatever. So I was putting vitamin E oil down there to, because that's what they said to put on there for scarring. And I've been putting that on there. My husband says the whole area around the trach, because I put it up here and I put it around the hole and stuff. Like I said, I don't know for sure if that's medically okay. So if you do it, that's on you. But I've been doing that, and he says the whole area looks really nice and pink versus how it looked really, it looked red and irritated. They gave me this one stuff. It was like a diaper cream because this hurt so bad. It was so raw, but I was wearing those other bands so tight. And I didn't realize you could wear them a little bit looser, because if you have this, I mean, you could feel this is not super, super tight, but if you don't want it to be super tight, where it's like right up, because it makes it very harder to breathe. But anyways, so in the shower, like I said, I put my finger over this if I don't have my cap on, and I push this in and I spray above and below. And like I said, it's not medically, I didn't check with a doctor, but that works for me. And I spray down my band. So even though I don't change it out every day, because I only have 5 of these bands, and my husband's not always here when I take a shower, because of course he's never here when I take a shower because he works, but only on the weekends. So what I do is when I get out of the shower, because this gets wet, obviously, because I'm spraying behind there, because my skin just like itches behind there, because, you know, that's always on there. And I kind of like pat that down with a towel to dry that off as much as possible. And that seems like it's been working a lot better. And it makes it a lot more comfortable for me in between changes, because it feels like it's cleaner because I'm spraying it with water. And so definitely, if you have a trach and you've been having trouble with showers, look into doing this if you're not comfortable with plugging this with your finger. Now, I never put my head like up without nothing there, because that would be absolutely stupid. Even with this, I wouldn't put my neck up like that and have water just on my face. I keep my back to the shower all the time, except for when I'm actually cleaning this with the shower head, okay? Because you will know, like I said, you will know if any water whatsoever gets in there, because you'll stop whatever you're doing and you will start coughing. So definitely, if you're comfortable with it, I'm not saying try it or not try it or whatever. It's definitely, I'm not a doctor, and this is not medically maybe advised. It's something that you're going to have to feel comfortable doing. But if you miss showers like I did, I mean, you'd be surprised how many times before this happened that, you know, okay, I'm feeling lazy. I don't feel like stripping off my clothes. I'm not going to take a shower today. I'm not going anywhere, so it doesn't matter. You'd be surprised once you can't take a shower how much you want to take a shower. So now that I'm able to do this, I feel like I can strip down, I can shower daily, I can wash my hair in the shower, which feels amazing. My skin, my husband and I both, I think it's because of the trauma we both have went through this year. Me more so with all this, but he had his own set of trauma this year, and that our body it's like breaking out little spots, and we changed our laundry soap, and I use my own shampoo, because I try not to use more of the chemicals than is necessary. I actually have my own homemade soap, which I'm going to be making a new batch because I'm almost out. And I've been using Bag Balm. Bag Balm now has a bar of soap, and you can get it off Amazon. It's like $5 a bar, and it does not even last the month that they say it does, but whatever. At first it seemed like it was working pretty good, you know, helping me with my itching and stuff like that, but now that I've continued to use it for a while, it's not doing such a great job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go back to using my soap, and then, you know, maybe every other day use my soap versus, the Bag Balm, and then so on and so forth. And hopefully eventually my body will feel more at rest, and it can do that. But hopefully Wednesday I will get the good news. The next step from this, if my vocal cords are healed like I do believe that they are, because they had to go in and do laser surgery. And because you imagine the thickness of a credit card by maybe about 1/10 of an inch, that's what I would have been breathing out of if I didn't have a trach. So me and my trach had become pretty good friends. But anyways, I don't like this. I don't like the whole thing of a trach, but I also don't probably like dying like I almost did 4 times this year. So anyways, definitely think about that for your showers. You know, if you're having coughing issues, like I said, your doctor can probably give you these, or you can order these off Amazon, and it's actually just saline that you put some drops down your cannula without the lids on. Yes, you will feel like you're almost drowning. And then if you don't have one, like I said, there's these, and it's hooked to a machine on the other side of my couch, and that helps suck out any of the goobers that's in there. So I hope this wasn't too much information for you, but definitely if you're anything like me, the shower was a really big deal, and it makes you just feel better when you feel like you're clean. I mean, not that you don't feel clean doing a sponge bath, but there's nothing like a bath, a shower, being in the pool, you know what I'm saying? It's something that makes you feel somewhat clean when you get out. We don't have a hot tub anymore, but I don't know for sure if I would feel comfortable, because I'm so short. I'm only like 5'4". I don't think I'd feel comfortable being in a hot tub right now, even though I'm sure it would help my body tremendously. I would have to actually sit on like something to keep my head up so this wouldn't get wet. And if this is in fact healed on Wednesday, I will keep you guys updated. I don't know for sure what I'll find out on Wednesday. I'm praying that everything's going to be fine. And the next step would be is to spend at least one night, maybe 2. I don't know what their thing is. I've only gone by what I've seen on the internet. I stayed the night overnight at U of M, and they pull us out, and they have to make sure that I'm breathing okay. I'll probably be all hooked to all sorts of wires. I probably won't be sleeping very well that night or anything, but they'll make sure that my oxygen is okay. I mean, I still have my oxygen machine here. I did put that on today, this morning at 4 o'clock, because usually if there's something blocking this, I can turn up my oxygen more, because I don't sleep with that at night anymore either. On times like this where it just feels like there's just something back there, that usually the extra air coming through will kind of like somehow push that back, and then I can breathe and I wake up and I'm fine. But that didn't happen this morning. I mean, even though I did sleep with my oxygen and I did turn it up to 3, when I did come home, they had me only on 1 liter of oxygen, which is pretty much 1 step over room air. So I wasn't really on that much oxygen to begin with, but I still have my oxygen machine here. And while I was in the hospital, my husband actually, I didn't know you could do it, but you can actually buy an oxygen machine off Amazon. Now, if we would have had this prior to all this happening, when we both were getting sick, and it went from bronchitis and it turned into pneumonia, and of course the C pneumonia, I think if we would have drank more, ate more, moved around more, which we didn't do, there's actually these little, let me find it real quick, hold on, I'll be right back. I have to keep going grabbing stuff, but there's like one of these things like this, okay? And you can see on there, there's these numbers. There's different machines. I don't know if this is the one that they gave my husband at the hospital. I'm not too successful at wearing this because of the trach. However, anybody, if you have asthma, bronchitis, you know, any sort of lung issues and you need to help your lungs, they sell those on Amazon. You could buy them. I'm sure you could probably get a prescription, but they get them right on Amazon, so why bother? And if we would have been using this, drinking more, eating more, moving around more. And I believe if we would have had the actual oxygen machine that we have now, that is ours to keep forever. And I think if we would have both took maybe turns wearing it, each of us with our own cannula, so you're not spreading the germs like that or anything, but I don't think it would have turned out to be this. And me almost dying with the 58% oxygen that I went to the hospital with that night. But definitely if you, so nothing does turn to this. I mean, if you are having breathing issues, have one of these, invest in one of these, have this at your house, use it often. My husband, he still uses his. He obviously doesn't have a trach, but he uses his often, and he believes it still helps his lungs because his lungs are still healing. Even though all this took place in January and this is now August, it takes a while for your lungs to recoup and redo everything. So definitely, I hope that some of this helped. Definitely for the showering, it's definitely something that you should really look into. And like I said, if you don't want to plug it, if you don't feel comfortable with that, and like I said, they have something like this actually in a medical, and this is like $60. This was under $1 at the store, at any hardware store. And like I said, you have to put a little bit of tape around here to make sure this stays on pretty tight. But make sure you have it down so water don't have it up like that and have water in there, because you'll know. But I hope this kind of helped. I know it's TMI for a lot of people who don't have a trach, but it's definitely something that I didn't know, and I wish I was told more prior to leaving the hospital than I was. I felt like some of the stuff I've learned has all been off like YouTube and by trial and error at home. So definitely, if you got the sucky out tube and you have a trach and you feel like there's stuff in between the two trachs, definitely use the saline stuff, break that loose, suck that out if you got the sucker machine. I mean, I think when this is done and over with, my trach's out, I think the rental company comes and takes this back, which I won't need it anymore because I won't have a trach. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, and you have a very wonderful and blessed day.